Hello and welcome to G5 Talk Show.
Tonight we have a special segment on gender equality.
So I understand after 60 years, inequality still lives for women.
That's correct, and today we'll have a guest speaker to discuss these topics.
Please welcome our special guest, Caitlin Seagraves.
Hi.
Hello, Caitlin.
So what topics on gender equality are you focused on today?
The women's rights movement, equality in the workplace, unequal pay, and inequality in the home.
Great, so speak to us about how women's rights affect the greater population.
So we've all heard that women were not able to vote until August 18, 1920, when the U.S. Constitution amended the right that women could vote. Gender inequality didn't even become an issue until after the anti-slavery movement.
So gender equality didn't become an issue until the 60s and 70s?
Yes, and today gender inequality is not where it should be.
So let's discuss some things that could be fixed today.
First off, we need to fix gender inequality in education. In some countries, education has just now been made accessible to women. By just now, I mean 2 or 3 years ago. If women don't have a proper education, then how can we expect to be future leaders and stand up for others who do not have a voice? This is shown in Malala Yousafzai's case, a young woman who believed in the right to education and was shot by the Taliban because of it.
So some might even say that education is the key to gender equality. Do you believe this statement?
Yes, I believe this statement. Many men argue that women are paid less because we do not have proper education. But how do women receive education when men are suppressing us from it?
While we're on this topic of inequality in the workplace, how much less do women get paid than men?
Women get paid consistently 24% less than men for the same amount, if not more work. Say we have a man that earns about $750 a week. If a woman did the same amount of work and worked the same amount of time, she would still only get paid $570 a week. That's a loss of about $180 per week, which could add up to $21,600 a year. So instead of getting paid $90,000, a woman would get paid $68,400 for the same amount of work that a man did.
And that's also something to take in consideration when thinking about moms who are on their own, taking care of multiple children.
Indeed it is.
Do you believe that there's inequality in the home when it comes to women doing more housework than men?
I do believe this, and there's a reason. Women have been applied to this role. It's always been a woman's role to be the housekeeper and to cook dinner. What happens when a woman comes home from work and does the same amount of work that the man did, yet she's going to cook dinner and she's got to clean the house? The man's too tired to do it, but yet the woman did the same amount of work. So aren't they both equally as tired as each other?
This is something I feel has changed because I feel women and men have started sharing domestic labor and started to kind of share roles in their homes.
Yes, this is true that some of this has changed, but there's still a lot of people who believe that women should be doing household chores and men should be making money. But it doesn't work like that anymore. You need to have two people to create a stable income.
Now we move on to a more sensitive topic. How do you feel about slut shaming and how it's become a part of society today?
I feel like from a young age, we're teaching young women and girls that they shouldn't dress a certain way and that they shouldn't act a certain way because it might be offensive to boys. What we need to start doing is to teach boys not to see women in the light of objects. Dress codes for girls in school, there's always like a dress code in public. It's sad, but it's there. There's always something there, and it makes you feel like you can't go out in something a little showy because you might be called a slut.
So we're going to get into something more sensitive. We hear all these cases about women being raped. Is it something you feel plays as slut shaming?
Yes, I do believe that rape plays into slut shaming. You hear these court cases where men are pleading innocent, but yet they're saying they raped the girl and it was her fault because she wore a certain thing or wanted it. But how do you know that's what she wanted?
So obviously we have a lot of things that society needs to change as far as gender inequality to make things equal for others, but I feel like this doesn't only can count for women, but it counts for transgender people and others who don't classify as a gender as well.
Yes, this is true, and that's why the women's rights movement and LGBT community are working really hard to get equality for everyone. It's just now receiving attention that problems still aren't fixed. We still have some issues that could be solved.
Well, thank you, Caitlin, for your time, and thank you for explaining the topics for our viewers and get a more grip of how people think of gender equality.
That's all we have today for GE5 News. Thank you for watching, and we will see you here next week. I'm Paris.
I'm Kyra.
And I'm Caitlin.